Dak Prescott continuing to get plenty of support from anyone and everyone. The neighbors putting the sign in the yard for Dak Prescott, who had his surgery and is home, and now the recovery process begins. But regardless of how it plays out, Stephen Jones, Cowboys COO, among other titles, appearing yesterday on 105.3 The Fan, Chris, made it clear that Dak Prescott is a big part of the team's future. Here's Stephen Jones.
That conversation with him, what was that conversation like?
How much our prayers are with him, how much we believe in him, how much we're going to miss him, but at the same time, know that he's going to come back better, stronger, better than ever. Start face of our franchise to have him and know that he'll overcome this. He's a driven, special man.
You know, it's funny. There's always a balancing you go through when you get a guest on a show and the radio and the phone connection isn't good. Like, at what point do you say, we'll call you back, or that's enough? But when it's Stephen Jones, you just deal with it if you're 105.3 The Fan, right? Especially on a topic like that, to hear what he has to say. It's the first time a Cowboys official addressing the future. And when you say face of the franchise, you imply he's going to continue to be with the franchise and going to do what they have to do to keep him around, Chris.
Yeah, I know. That's where I'm very interested to see where it goes. I mean, yes, Dak Prescott is a really awesome quarterback. There's no doubt about it. You know, the talent is there. Yeah, do I look at him and go, okay, he's one of the 5 most talented guys in the game? No, I don't, but I think you and I agree he's that next group down there, certainly. And then, like we heard Rodney on the clip before, he brings so many things to the table that, you know, that translate on the field, but people won't give him credit for, as far as his leadership and what he does there, the kind of human being he is, everything like that. Yeah, that affects with how his teammates look at him in the huddle, how they play for him, all those type of things. The big thing, we're just in unprecedented waters here. That's where I'm just like, I don't know where this goes. I mean, I know you hear the reports, right? They're saying 4 to 6 months, right, as far as the injury.
And closer to 6.
I would think that's what I was going to say. I would think so. In my history of being around athletes who have had these similar injuries, yes, it's more of the 6 to 7 to 8 month type of thing. And then even when you get back out there, you're not really yourself, you know, and that's to me going to be the big question too. And I guess that's the big question is, how do they balance this? You know, do you just pay him a flat contract and pay him like he's one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in football and pay him big money and just go on with it? Do you put some sort of stipulation in the contract, Mike? I don't know. I'm very intrigued by the conversation itself.
Well, let's remember the options.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's the reality. The window opens on signing Dak to a multi-year deal as soon as the regular season ends. There's no prohibition on the Cowboys and Dak Prescott's agent getting together and laying the foundation and working out a contract that would be signed immediately after the regular season ends. Nothing prevents them from doing it in the CBA. The circumstances may make it something where you want to take a wait and see, but you could start talking about any and all possibilities for a long-term deal right now. They're going to have until the window closes for the application, the franchise tag or the transition tag. Both are going to cost the same by rule. 20% raise for Dak Prescott. 31.4 becomes 37.68, even if the salary cap drops to 175. And Chris, look, on one hand, Dak Prescott's reaction to this injury could be to say, I was wrong to not take the security that comes with a long-term deal.
Yep.
I was wrong to not take the 9-figure injury guarantee. I should have done it. I wish I had. Or he could say, hey, you forced me to go year to year because you didn't properly value me. You didn't give me the security that I wanted. And I'm not going to agree to an, shucks, you got a bad leg type of a deal, some sort of a Band-Aid 1-year thing to see what you have, or something with a big option bonus payment in the second year like what Drew Brees signed when he joined the Saints in 2006 because he had the bad shoulder. It was 1 year, and then it was up to the Saints to unlock the rest of the deal. No, he could say, look, you either apply the franchise tag at 37.68 or you let me become a free agent and we'll let the market decide what I'm worth. I mean, that's what I've been saying for the last year and a half. That's one of the reasons why I hate the franchise tag, even though it's not going away. It gives the team a way to prevent the market from determining a player's worth. So we're stuck having all these theoretical, hypothetical conversations about what a player's worth. We never get a chance to find out. There's one way to find out what he's worth.
I know.
You put him on the market. And that may be what Dak – and you know what? Based upon the way he has stared down the Cowboys and their efforts to aw-shucks him into doing a team-friendly deal in the past, I think he's going to say, I fully intend to be healthy. I fully intend to be playing. I fully intend to be the guy that I've always been. So you either apply the franchise tag or we're going to let the market decide what I'm worth, period.
I hear what you're saying. I would just say that if I were Dak Prescott or if I was a friend of his and he called me and asked me for my advice, I would go with, the first thing you said, where it would just, go with a big-time deal. Maybe you're not the highest-paid guy in football or whatever that is, and just be happy that you got the guarantee, the security. You're the Cowboy. You're the quarterback of the Cowboys and all these special things. And, kind of like what I said back in March, when we were talking about the contract situation. At the end of the day, and I know this is easy for me to say sitting here as a talking head on TV, but I don't think whether he's got $150 million in the bank or $142 million in the bank is going to make a difference. That's what I've always kind of argued. And, the last thing I'll say, at least as far as this, Mike, is, if he is to hit the open market, right, do you think anybody's going to give him, like, big-time money or it'd be that type of deal? I guess you're right, with, like, a Drew Brees type of thing, maybe. I'm interested in where that goes.
It doesn't have to be big-time money. It just has to be more than what the Cowboys are offering. That's the key. It doesn't have to be $40 million a year. And, the Cam Newton experience where he languishes on the market, the Patriots get him, and he ends up being great, that could cause one of those owners out there to say, go get this guy. Sure, he may not be healthy now, but look at what he's going to be when he is healthy. And I was looking through the standings yesterday. The Jets, why would they not potentially be interested in Dak Prescott, depending upon what's going on in the organization after this season? The Jaguars may be looking for a new everything after this year because 1-4 isn't going to get it done. The Colts, they have a one-year deal with Phillip Rivers. Who would you rather have, Chris, Dak Prescott or Phillip Rivers next year?
Well, that's not even close. Yes, Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Right.
The Broncos, Drew Lock. Hey, if Drew Lock can't stay on the field, he can't be the quarterback. You and I both think he can be great, but if you can't stay healthy, you can't play. And I understand that they'd be trading in Drew Lock for Dak Prescott coming off of a serious injury, but other than that one freak injury, the guy hadn't missed a game his entire career. And I haven't even gotten to the NFC. Let's dispense with the obvious candidates like the 49ers if they move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. Wouldn't your guy, Kyle, be interested in a guy like Dak?
I would think so. I don't know why anybody wouldn't be interested in Dak if you felt like he was available. Right. Go ahead.
The Saints, Dak Prescott, Taysom Hill if Drew Brees retires. Maybe Sean Payton looks at Dak Prescott and says, man, what I could do with him if I had him in my offense. And I'm fine. I'm going to gloss over the NFC North, although the Lions could be in play, or the Bears, or maybe even the Vikings if they trade Kirk Cousins to your guy in San Francisco, which I think is entirely possible after the way Jimmy Garoppolo has played this year. But let's just stay in the division. Wouldn't you love, if you're a team that plays the Cowboys twice a year, to take Dak Prescott away from the Cowboys if they blow this? We don't know what's going to happen with Daniel Jones after this season. What about a Jason Garrett, Dak Prescott reunion with the Giants? What about that? Wouldn't that be awesome if that happened? Washington don't know what the hell they're doing at quarterback. The Eagles are starting to have doubts about Carson Wentz. And all that, that is what pushes this toward the Cowboys not wanting to take that chance. And if they can't work out a deal with Dak, do you pull the trigger on $37.68 million when you're not sure the guy's going to be ready to go next year? That's going to be the question. And it's going to be one of the biggest business questions the Cowboys have ever had to resolve in the history of the franchise.
Because they're kind of in a weird spot. They really are. Even on I feel like a little bit of a humanity level here now they are too, right? At least a little bit as far as, okay, let's go back to the contract talks and the negotiations and all that. One, you're right. Dak Prescott's going to be able to talk, or his agent are going to be able to talk to the Cowboys and go, well, I'm in this predicament because of you guys. You wouldn't pony up the right amount of money the first time. He'll certainly be able to say that. But now the circumstances have changed. And will Dallas still make a big marketplace type offer to him with this injury looming right now? Because if they don't, or they kind of lowball him or do something like that, it's going to look insensitive too. So I'm interested to see if they do talk about long-term contracts. Will that offer stay the same as it was last year, where they just didn't like it and supposedly there was a disagreement on the fourth or fifth year of the contract, whatever that is? Or does Dak ask for a little bit more money from the last year's negotiation, just saying, hey, it's the next year, money goes up? There's just so many different scenarios here, and I think the Cowboys are in a tough spot. And like you said, Dak Prescott, I think, is just going to have to make a decision on which way he wants to go with this. Does he want to play hardball? Does he want to just get the security of a long-term contract and have to deal with it and think about it anymore? Because I am one that thinks some of that emotions pouring out we saw on Sunday is all of that. Like, I can't play with my team, like all the things you said and Rodney said before this, but also like, damn, did I mess up, a chance of getting a huge payday as well? And there is something to that, to where that's off your brain and you don't have to worry about that anymore as well.
I want what's best for Dak.
Yeah.
I want all players to get every last penny that they can and could get, because they're the ones out there taking that risk of a serious injury on any given play. I was watching that game last night too. I mean, now I'm watching for the pileups and to see if someone else suffers a serious leg injury like that. Once that's in your brain, It's hard to get rid of it. Imagine how hard it's going to be for Dak to ever get rid of that experience. And he needs to get what he deserves. And his leverage is, you pay me $37.68, or we find out who else out there may be interested.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.